What risks do we face putting our money into DeFi Kingdoms or any other crypto project for that matter? Let's talk about it. Number one, we're relying on the team. We're relying on human beings. Anything can happen when that's the case. I did a video a little bit ago, last couple weeks ago, I guess, as to why I think the DeFi Kingdoms project and team is one of the best projects and one of the best teams in all of crypto. Anybody can sit back, hollering and yelling on their phone, shouting at a team. All right, but put yourself in their shoes. Imagine what it is to start from scratch your own crypto project. Okay, and then you have to hire other developers, and then you have to figure out how to manage them, and then you have to figure out cohesion on the team, and then you have to figure out a leadership team, and then you have to make sure you put the right people in the right seats, and then you have to figure out human emotion, and feelings get hurt, and people get offended, and people disagree with the direction. It goes on and on and on. That's why it's really hard to start a business. That's why 92% of all businesses fail within the first 5 years. They don't last 5 years. It literally just goes out of business. Well, that's what happens with most crypto projects, and it's compounded in the world of crypto. We're going to hit on that. So in business, most businesses fail. It usually doesn't work. Anybody can shout and holler, but when you understand what they're going through, just imagine what Frisky Fox and Dreamer and those guys are going through. Okay, it's one thing to just clock in and clock out at a job and just grind and develop and do your work or whatever it is you're doing. Okay, and then you can go home and check out and watch TV or do whatever you want. Okay, you check in, you check out. That's not how it is here. So it's easy to criticize Frisky Fox for not having all his ducks in a row all the time. He literally started this from scratch. That's what makes it so amazing. And they've proven to be through lots of trials and tribulation. They have gone through a lot, and they're still coming out of it more resilient. They're formulating structure and a foundation within their business. I mean, I don't even like calling it a business, within the DeFi Kingdoms project. Okay. Now, here's one of the biggest problems too with most all of crypto projects is that they're a bunch of brainiac engineers who aren't good at messaging or marketing. Okay. They're not good at messaging or marketing. And they're also not good at recognizing an engineer guy, who looks at code all day, looking at code. Okay, it doesn't process in his brain the user interface, the importance for the average Joe Blow who doesn't have an IQ of 5,000. Okay, that it needs to be easy and efficient and user friendly. For him, for that developer, he's good with all these dots and numbers on a page, right? That's not how you get user adoption. It's got to be easy. It's got to be user friendly. It's got to have a good, clean interface, simple. The structure of how the interface works has to be simple. None of that is their strength. None of that is their strong point. And with the messaging and marketing, they just don't get it. They're so logical and in their brain. Okay, so generally speaking, successful businesses need what I would call an integrator who's kind of like the CEO president guy, and they need oh my gosh, my brain, people, an integrator and what is it? Like McDonald's, Disney, all these successful ones. They had your visionary guy, and then they had your systems and process guy coming together. Okay, so what DeFi Kingdoms desperately needs, bad, is someone like a Charles Hoskinson, who isn't a shady, slick back, slick back hair, car salesman, sleazy guy. No, that's not a good salesman, by the way. But engineers view sales in that light. But they don't understand that the guys, when they're being sold on something, they don't even know they're being sold on something. That's what a good salesman will do. It's not some high pressure pitch that's disconnected from you. It's actually connecting deeply with you, making you feel comfortable and at ease, and giving you a subtle confidence in what the person's telling you. That's what Charles Hoskinson is so good at. Okay, just imagine if everything Charles Hoskinson talks about was actually reality in the real world, was actually happening, where there's actually a wallet that worked well and a DEX that connected to the wallet properly. And then you build on that, and other developers can easily develop on your platform and actually have a working product where you can actually bank the unbanked. You can actually do all the things that he's talking about doing. Okay, the market cap of Cardano would be probably where Ethereum is actually, because of his messaging. That's his strength. And hopefully that all still happens with Cardano. I'm always picking on them because it's just so aggravating. It's just so slow in the development after years and years and years. Whereas this project develops quickly, in spite of what people who are hollering from their phones who don't get it think and say. Okay, if you look at any other developer out there, this is one of the fastest that I've seen in the space. Now, I think it could be faster still for sure. Okay, but compared to this is one of the faster projects that I've ever seen, less than a year, and look at how far this project has come. But we're still relying on human beings. So that's the biggest risk. We're relying on human beings who aren't the best with messaging, marketing. Okay, and they're decent interface here, but they need a dude who can come in and just simple things. Like even if they had a guy who is a better moderator, moderating the AMAs, and that guy doing that needs to be an absolute total guru of all things DeFi Kingdoms. That guy needs to be able to answer all questions with the right posture and enthusiasm, excitement for the project, not being dry as cracker juice, when they're talking, not, talking in their head so much, all logical, but connecting with the people asking the questions and actually being sure that you see through it, that you actually see it, that the hearer is understanding and getting it. They're getting what you're saying. Now, engineers don't do that. They don't connect. Logical engineer-minded guys aren't connecting with the hearer and feeling their emotional take on what you're saying. They're not good at that. They're like disconnected, and they answer very logically. So a lot of the AMA questions are often very emotionally driven questions, and they need to be put at ease and have a subtle confidence behind what's being said. So just simple things on how basic questions are answered. They're not good at that. And I hear it all the time. It just makes me laugh. I'm tired. You know what? I've heard this since 2016 when I was in crypto. I don't want to hear, some guy just talking about his project all the time. I just like to see teams that are just hard at work. I just like to see teams that are hard at work, and they just quietly keep working. They just quietly keep developing. So wait, okay, think about that for a second. Stop, pause. Okay. So you're saying that you don't want to actually know what's happening, what's actually being developed. You don't want that communicated. You don't want constant communication with the team. So think about, I'm tired of that. So that's most of crypto projects' problems. They don't communicate their project well at all. Basic things. Then it doesn't even process in the mind of an engineer how important it is to the average Joe user to have a simple user interface of whatever it is they're doing. So what Frisky Fox and Dreamer and Bolin and those guys need, okay, is someone to come alongside and say, oh, no, who's actually regularly playing the game too, and say, no, do it like this. It's simpler and easier interface. Some guy that gets it, what the average Joe is actually experiencing when they have to open up and actually play the game. And so, and it's not that DeFi Kingdoms is terrible. They're above average with all this. They're actually, the AMAs are by far better communication than any other project that I've ever seen. I've been in crypto for a long time. I've been in a lot of different projects. I've been in at least 100 different projects that have literally gone to zero. And some of them were very good projects, very good teams. Okay. And so, but they're so busy grinding. And so they need a guy, Frisky Fox, you need a guy who is constantly communicating all things DeFi Kingdoms to the community, reaching out. Okay, I know now it's good, like Dreamer, I think is perfect to reach out to your like high level professional business guys, like reaching out to Polygon to move your chain. That's not what I'm talking about. He's perfect for that. I think Dreamer's perfect for that business type of conduct. Very professional, crisp, clean, very solid. But I'm talking reaching out to the community, reaching out to other YouTubers, advertising with other YouTubers, gaining adoption, updating people, constant, frequent communication. This is exactly why I'm doing this YouTube channel, because they don't have it. There's a need. So not only on how to play the game, there's so many AMA questions that go for months and months and months that I still don't have questions, that I still don't have answered. Like people just don't know. Okay, so the AMAs, not enough time. We need a guy doing those, and just a guru guy that will do a daily video or something live and answering questions, Q&As, AMAs all day, every day, baby. Come on. You need a guy who's helping you in the interface construction. So we desperately need an app in this thing. Need an app for DeFi Kingdoms that interfaces with its own wallet or the MetaMask wallet, but just where your average Joe, you can go into the App Store, you download the app, and you can play the game. Like the wallet is connected there, you can deposit there, you can do it, and it's all and it's simplified and easy and clean. Okay, and it leads you and guides you through clean. I think that's like 2 or 3 years out. I think that's still in their game plan. Okay, so this is the case, not just with DeFi Kingdoms, but with everyone. And so people have been critical of all kinds of things with DeFi Kingdoms, and then the FUD spreads, and then the FUD is not properly addressed. In fact, sometimes in the AMAs, the way they answer questions, it even causes more FUD because they're so logical and in their mind. But if you give them the benefit of the doubt and you kind of understand what they're coming from in their shoes and you let it play out, and you can just see that no, Frisky Fox wasn't rug pulling, stealing money. He wasn't doing any nonsense with his friend, okay, in the initial liquidity. It was Dreamer's wallet address that was on there. He forgot to update it. I think it's that simple. But people blew it all out of proportion. People criticized he was in this project with a prior scam. Okay. But he left the project because it was a scam. And he didn't want to just speak evil of the project and the people because people were still using the project. But he realized maybe it wasn't an outright scam, but a lot of shady stuff was going on. Well, guess what? A lot of shady stuff is going on in a lot of the projects that we know and like and love. Like I have a lot of questions about Solana. I have a lot of questions. Okay, there's a lot of questionable things. All right, with most projects actually. So what's awesome is at least they do weekly or bi-weekly AMAs. It's actually amazing. And so we still get a lot out of them. They've been really exciting lately too. And you can just see how they're continuing to develop. They have resilience. They're awesome. But it's still their weakness, big time. Okay. So people have criticized on how slow they've moved. They've criticized all kinds of things, but I think it's mostly all just FUD. They're just like any other crypto in the world, pretty much, besides frickin' Cardano. They just don't communicate well. Just imagine if Charles Hoskinson had that and it was actually working beautifully, like he says it will someday, magically. That has so much upside. Why? Because of his one thing, because of his messaging. Gaining a subtle confidence and resolve. He's got like a resolve, but it's calm, usually calm, cool, and collected. And he just seems like a genuine, kind-hearted person. And he connects with people on some levels. But he's still a crazy engineer-minded guy too. So, okay. Also, engineers aren't good at managing dysfunctional teams. So that's their problem. But they've come a long ways, and I think they're doing it. So just even recognizing this, I don't even think crosses through their mind what their biggest weakness actually is. They just don't get it. Now they get how hard it is to run a team. They get that now. I guarantee it. They've been through the fire, and they're coming through more formulated and organized. It's exciting. So, but all of this being said is our biggest risk, okay? That we're relying on all this team and this process to work out. What if Frisky Fox's wife has had enough and she wants a divorce? She wants out. And what if he loses his mind like I did 5 years ago? I mean, it's real. It's real. Okay. So we're relying on all these different pieces to play out. So what can we do to help? We need to come alongside and encourage and love on them, not hate on them. And sit here and throw stones. We don't know what the hell we're talking about. Okay. Don't be hollering from sitting in your bed on your phone. Come on. All right. The other biggest risk that scares me to death more and more is that all the hacking that happens. And it's so stupid and so evil. There's very little ethics on hacking. When you go to school for computer, like if you go to school for cybersecurity, which is huge upside, a lot of people are doing it. They literally teach you how to hack a computer. That's a problem. So we have people in droves learning how to hack. So my buddy went to a school for 6 weeks, and 3 weeks into the school, he figured out how to hack into my Wi-Fi. That's a problem. Like our homes aren't protected. Our Wi-Fi, you got to get a special router, get it all set up right, do all the security measures so people can't do that. That's a problem. And then the ethics behind it. People don't even think it's a big deal. It really, really, really pisses me off to no end how lightly people take these hacks. You watch these YouTubers and they laugh about it. They almost laugh it out and they say, good for that guy, stealing $100 million, ruining people's lives, ruining all the developers on the project and their lives and their livelihoods, their heart and blood, sweat, and tears being put into a project, and all the thousands or even millions of people in on that project getting ruined. It's evil. It's evil it should never be talked about anything lightly, anything else than evil to the core. And it's so stupid because the hacker's not going to get away with it. He's just inviting a curse on himself. The karma is going to come back and bite him. And I hope they have really strict, harsh penalties. They're going to be in jail for a long time. It's so evil, the ramifications, and it's literally destroying the entire crypto space as we know it. All the dreams of what crypto can do is almost to a point to where it's a fantasy. It won't ever be true because of hacking. Understand that and think that through. Think through the ramifications. Are we actually ever going to have decentralized banking? where we don't need the evil freaking banks. No. I mean, they control everything anyways. But how's a project going to actually be able to develop? Like everything that always happens just gets destroyed by hacking. Just one after another, destroying and completely ruining the crypto space. So don't laugh it off if you care about crypto. It's not funny. I mean, we're all going to have to become Bitcoin maxis. That's kind of what it's coming down to. So those are our risks. Love you guys. It's no joke. Love you guys. That's why be careful. I used to say, don't put your money in the bank because I don't trust the banks. There's going to be a bank run with the banks. They don't have your cash. Once everyone needs their cash all at once, believe me, they're not going to have it. Same thing's going to happen. It's happened in China. It's going to happen. And then whenever the banks and powers that be are ready, they're going to just create a new currency. I mean, that's probably what we're going to see happen. So I don't know where to put your money. I guess the banks, they've won. That's what they want you to say. They want your money. They want to hold all your money for free while they make money on your money. I mean, it's the same thing that anyone else, I mean, that's what they do. And they don't give you anything for it. They've won. They hold the power. People are killing me. Love you guys. Crypto Grady out. I love it. Love you guys.